Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! About a year ago, my next-door neighbors approached me with an interesting proposition. They were a lovely elderly couple, vibrant and active despite being in their 80s. They asked if I'd be willing to move into their home and take care of it for 3 years while they traveled. At first, I was hesitant, but the idea grew on me. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in a beautiful Hawaiian home, right? When it came time to sign the contract, I only had one concern. There was a clause stating that either party could terminate the agreement with a 30-day notice. I wasn't comfortable with that. I explained to the couple that if I was going to leave my own home, I couldn't risk suddenly becoming homeless. They understood and agreed to change the clause. The husband says, "We completely understand your concern. We'll change that clause to say, unless mutually agreeable." How does that sound? That sounds perfect. Thank you for being so understanding. Of course, dear. We want this to work out for everyone. So we signed the contract in October 2023, with the agreement set to end in November 2026. I was excited about this new chapter in my life. I started making plans, preparing to move, and even considering selling my own home since I wouldn't need it for the next 3 years. Fast forward to last month, I had finally settled into the couple's home, unpacked all my belongings, and really started to feel comfortable. I even took the big step of selling my own house. It was a relief to no longer have to pay both my mortgage and homeowners association fees on top of the rent for the couple's place. But then, out of the blue, I got a call from them. They wanted to move back in. Not in a few months, not at the end of our agreement, but immediately. I was shocked. The husband says, "Hello there. How are you settling in?" "Oh, everything's great. I'm really enjoying the house." "That's wonderful to hear. Listen, there is something we need to discuss. We've decided we want to move back home." "Oh, I see. When were you thinking?" "Well, as soon as possible, really. We miss our home." I felt the rug had been pulled out from under me. I tried to remind them of our agreement. "But what about our contract? We agreed I'll be here until November 2026. "We know, but circumstances change. We thought you'd understand." "I do understand, but this puts me in a very difficult position. I've just sold my house." "Surely you can find somewhere else to live." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Did they not remember our conversations about why I needed the security of a long-term agreement? Did they not realize how difficult it would be for me to find a new place to live in Hawaii on such short notice? It's not that simple. The housing market in Hawaii is tough. Plus, I'm in the middle of a time-sensitive property exchange. I can't just drop everything and move out. "Well, we need our house back. You'll have to figure something out." I was at a loss for words. These were my neighbors, people I considered friends. I didn't want to create bad blood between us, but I also couldn't just become homeless to accommodate them. Over the next few days, I tried to reason with them. I reminded them of our contract, of the discussions we'd had about why the termination clause was changed. I explained my situation in detail, how I'd sold my home, how I was in the middle of a complex property transaction, how finding a new place to live in Hawaii on short notice was nearly impossible. I say, "I understand you miss your home, but please try to see this from my perspective. I made major life decisions based on our agreement." "We know, dear, but we really want to come home. Can't you just stay with friends for a while?" "For 3 years? That's not realistic. What about all my belongings?" "You're making this very difficult. We thought you'd be more understanding." Their attitude was starting to frustrate me. They seemed to think I was being unreasonable when I was just trying to stick to the agreement we'd all made. In a last attempt to resolve things amicably, I invited the couple over for coffee. I wanted to have a face-to-face conversation and see if we could find a solution that worked for everyone. "I'm glad you could come over. I think we need to talk about this situation." "Yes, we do. When can you move out?" "That's not what I meant. We need to find a compromise. I can't just leave." "But it's our house. We should be able to come back whenever we want." "I understand it's your house, but we have a legally binding agreement. You approached me, remember? I only agreed to this because you assured me I'd have a stable living situation for 3 years. Things change. We've decided we want to come back. I get that, but you can't just change your mind and expect me to become homeless. That's not fair, and it's not what we agreed to. We're not trying to make you homeless. We just want our house back. And where am I supposed to go? I sold my house because of our agreement. I'm in the middle of a property exchange. I can't just snap my fingers and find a new place to live. The conversation went back and forth like this for a while. They seemed unable or unwilling to understand my position. I tried to be patient, reminding myself that they were elderly and might not fully grasp the implications of what they were asking. But as the discussion wore on, I started to lose my cool. Look, I've been nothing but accommodating. I've taken great care of your home, I've paid rent on time every month, and I've respected our agreement. Why can't you do the same? Now, there is no need to get upset. I'm sorry, but I think I have every right to be upset. You're asking me to upend my entire life because you've changed your mind about an agreement we all signed. We didn't think it would be such a big deal. Not a big deal. I sold my house. I'm in the middle of a major financial transaction. How is that not a big deal? I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself down. This wasn't getting us anywhere. Listen, I don't want to fight with you. You're my neighbors and I respect you. But I need you to understand that I can't just move out. Not only would it be incredibly difficult for me, but it would also be a breach of our contract. Are you threatening legal action? No, I am not threatening anything. I'm just stating facts. We have a legally binding agreement. I've upheld my end of it, and I expect you to do the same. But what if we really need to come back? What if there is an emergency? If there is a genuine emergency or health issue, of course we can discuss it, but that's not the case. You've been traveling for 4 different continents since I moved in. You seem to be in great health. We are, thank God, but we miss our home. I understand that. But missing your home isn't a reason to break a legal agreement and potentially make someone homeless. The conversation continued for a while longer, with neither side willing to budge. Finally, I decided to propose a compromise. How about this? I know you want to come back, and I don't want to keep you from your home forever. What if we agree that I'll move out earlier than originally planned, but not immediately? Say in a year instead of 2.5. The couple looked at each other, considering my proposal. A year is still a long time. It's a year less than we agreed to. It will give me time to finish my property exchange and find a new place to live. And it will give you a definite date to plan your return. The husband says, we'll have to think about it. Please do. I really want to find a solution that works for all of us. They left without giving me an answer, but I hope they would see reason. Over the next few days, I didn't hear from them. I was starting to worry that they might try to force the issue somehow. But then about a week later, I got a call from the husband. We've thought about your proposal, and we've decided to accept it. You can stay for another year. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. Thank you. I really appreciate your understanding. We're sorry for causing you so much stress. We didn't realize how complicated your situation was. I understand. I'm just glad we could find a solution. We'll draw up an amendment to our contract to reflect this new agreement. That sounds perfect. Thank you again. Was that the tension that had been building over the past weeks finally dissipated? I had a year to get my affairs in order and find a new place to live at. It wasn't ideal, but it was a compromise I could live with. Over the following month, I focused on completing my property exchange and started looking for a new home. The couple and I maintained a cordial relationship, and they even offered to help me in my house hunt. As the year progressed, I found a lovely new place to live. It wasn't as nice as a couple's home, but it was mine, and I wouldn't have to worry about anyone asking me to leave unexpectedly. When the day finally came for me to move out, the couple helped me back and even threw me a little goodbye party. Despite the rough patch we'd gone through, we'd managed to maintain our friendship. We're going to miss you, you know? I'll miss you too. Despite everything, I've enjoyed living here. We're sorry again for the trouble we caused. We should have respected our agreement from the start. Water under the bridge. I'm just glad we found a solution that worked for everyone. As I drove away from their house for the last time, I felt sad to leave a place I called home for the past 2 years. But I was also excited about my new beginning, and I was relieved that we'd managed to resolve our conflict without resorting to legal action or damaging our relationship beyond repair. It was supposed to be a normal Saturday. My mom decided we needed to do some shopping, so we packed up my baby sister and headed to the mall. I was excited because I love spending time with my sister. She's only 4 months old, but she's already the light of my life. We'd been at the mall for about an hour when my mom remembered she needed to pick up something from a store on the other side. She asked if I could watch my sister while she ran over there real quick. Of course I said yes. I'm 17. I can handle looking after a baby for a few minutes. So there I was, pushing the stroller around, cooing at my sister and making silly faces to keep her entertained. That's when I noticed this woman giving me weird looks. At first, I tried to ignore her, but she kept staring and whispering to her kid. I started to feel uncomfortable, so I decided to head towards where Mom went. But before I could get very far, the woman stepped right in front of the stroller, blocking my path. "Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going with that baby?" I'm just waiting for my mom. She'll be back in a minute." "Don't lie to me. There is no way this is your sister." I was shocked. Who did this lady think she was? What? Of course she's my sister. Please move so I can go. "No, I'm not letting you leave with a kidnapped child." My heart started racing. Was this really happening? "Look, lady, I don't know what your problem is, but this is my sister. Our mom just went to another store for a minute. Now please, let me pass." "Stop lying. You're white and that baby is clearly black. You must have stolen her. I'm not going to let you get away with this." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Just because we have different skin colors doesn't mean we can be related. Are you serious right now? Haven't you heard of mixed families? Our mom is black and our dad is white. Now move. I tried to push past her, but she grabbed the stroller handle. "I said you're not going anywhere. I am calling security." By this point, I was starting to panic. I looked around hoping to see my mom or maybe a store employee who could help. But the woman's yelling was drawing crowd, and everyone was just staring. "Let go of the stroller. You have no right to do this." "I have every right to stop a kidnapper. Someone call the police." I couldn't believe this was happening. I started yelling back, trying to make someone understand. "I am not a kidnapper. This is my sister. Someone please help me." The woman's kid was crying now, adding to the chaos. I was so focused on protecting my sister that I didn't see the punch coming. Suddenly, pain exploded across my face as a woman's fist connected with my nose. I stumbled back stunned. Blood started pouring from my nose and my eyes watered from the pain. In that moment of shock, the woman grabbed the stroller and took off running. It took me a second to process what had just happened. Then panic set in. This crazy lady had just taken my baby sister. "Help! She took my sister! Someone stop her!" I started running after her, blood still streaming down my face, and people were staring, but no one was doing anything to help. I was screaming and crying, begging someone to stop her. "Please, she's kidnapping my sister! Somebody help us!" Finally, I saw 2 security guards running towards us. They managed to cut off the woman's escape route. She tried to dodge around them, but one guard grabbed the stroller while the other restrained her. "Let me go! I'm trying to save this baby from a kidnapper." "Ma'am, calm down. We need to sort this out," I say. "She attacked me and took my sister. Please give her back to me." I reached for the stroller, but the guard pulled it away. "Hold on, kid. We need to figure out what's going on." I was about to argue when I heard a familiar voice. "What the hell is going on here? Get your hands off my children." I've never been so relieved to see my mom. She pushed through the crowd and ran to me. Her eyes wide with concern when she saw my bloody face. "Oh my God, what happened to you?" Before I could answer, the woman started shrieking again. "Are you the mother? How dare you let your son kidnap an innocent black baby?" "Excuse me? That innocent black baby is my daughter, you ignorant racist." The woman's jaw dropped. She looked from my mom to me, then to my sister in the stroller. But he's white." "Yeah, and I'm black. It's called genetics. Now who the hell do you think you are putting your hands on my son and trying to take my baby? The woman started sputtering, trying to come up with an explanation, but my mom wasn't having it. With a scream of rage, she lunged at the woman. The security guards tried to intervene, but they weren't fast enough. Mom's nails racked across the woman's face, leaving bright red scratches. Security guard says, "Ma'am, you need to calm down." Mom ignored him. She pushed past the guards and snatched my sister out of the stroller, cradling her close. My sister had started crying from all the commotion. "It's okay, baby. Mommy's here. You're safe now." She turned back to the woman who was now being restrained by both guards. "If you ever come near my children again, I'll do a lot worse than scratch your face." By this point, someone had called the police and an ambulance. We could hear sirens approaching. The woman was still yelling and trying to justify her actions.
"I was just trying to help. You can't blame me for being suspicious."
Mom says, "I absolutely can't blame you. You assaulted my son and tried to kidnap my daughter because you're too ignorant to understand that families can look different." The police arrived a few minutes later. They took statements from everyone involved while paramedics checked out my nose. Thankfully, it wasn't broken, just badly bruised. As the cops were putting handcuffs on the woman, she started freaking out.
"You can't arrest me. I'm the hero here. I was saving that baby from white trash kidnappers."
She tried to pull away from the officers, kicking and screaming as they led her to the patrol car. Her poor kid was left standing there crying until another officer took him aside to wait for a relative to pick him up. Once things calmed down a bit, my mom pulled me into a hug, being careful of my sore nose. "I'm so sorry this happened to you, baby. Are you okay?" "Yeah, I think so. Just shaken up. Is sis alright?" "She's fine. Probably wondering what the fuss is all about." We both laughed a little at that, the tension finally starting to ease. One of the officers came over to talk to us. "We're going to need you both to come down to the station to give formal statements. The woman is being charged with assault, attempted kidnapping, and resisting arrest." "Good. I want to press charges to the fullest extent. She needs to learn she can't treat people like that." The rest of the day was spent at the police station, giving statements and filling out paperwork. When we finally got home that night, I was exhausted. But as I watched my mom put my sister to bed, I felt a surge of love and protectiveness. No matter what anyone thinks or says, she's my sister, and I'll always be there to look out for her, just like I did today. Hey Redditors! I get to share another small anecdote of my life as a truck driver, dealing with bouts of malicious compliance and whatnot. This one took place yesterday, but I only heard back from the aftermath of it today. As many people who dive into my post history know, I'm a truck driver. I've been one for almost 10 years now, and started with a new company late last year. Usually, I have no qualms with this company until yesterday. A couple of reruns I've done in the past with this company have had duplicate paperwork attached to the bills of lading. So to save time and headaches, I usually scan in the signed version and call it a day. That usually doesn't cause problems, as payroll is aware of the duplication and they completely understand. Recently, our company was acquired by another company, and we have to do things their way. The first thing they did was crack down on the duplication issue, requiring all pieces of the bill of lading to be scanned in, and not just a signed version. Okay, as my bills of lading are only about 3 to 5 pages, then at the most. Well, I finished my first 4-stop run yesterday, and a shipper, in their infinite wisdom, thought it would be a brilliant idea to duplicate the first 6 pages of the bill of lading for each stop. On top of that, there were also some miscellaneous sheets of paper pertaining to each particular stop, attached in their own cluster. In case you lost track, that's 24 sheets of paper, just for the duplicates. Naturally, when I finished the last stop, I called payroll and asked them if I really needed to send all the papers for the bills of lading, or could I get away with just sending them the signed portions. Nope. According to new policy, all the paperwork included in the bill of lading must be scanned in, or you won't get paid on a load. Fine then. You want to drown in paperwork? Be my guest. Cue the malicious compliance. I pulled into a truck stop to find a TransFlow kiosk, as it would be the only thing that would be able to handle such a daunting task. I stacked my papers neatly and started the process. 77 pages later, I was done transflowing everything to payroll. I double-checked my work and submitted it. This morning, I get a phone call from payroll. In the future, when you have so many pages in your bill of lading, if you could eliminate all the duplicate pages and just send us assigned forms, that would be great. Okay, guess you didn't like that wave of paper any more than I did sending it. Update. Just got an email from corporate at 7:30 a.m. It's telling me not to send in duplicate forms anymore, and they are working on rewriting the policy to make it make sense to send in every page of a bill of lading, unless there are duplicates. Until then, I was told, send in your signed copies, and if there are duplicate pages, just send one copy of those with a bill of lading.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.